Hello, y'all. We're gonna try this one more time. We're gonna try and do a reading vlog today. I am not very successful at doing reading vlogs. I have attempted it a couple of times, but I don't know. I do want to try it because it does seem like it could be like a faster way to come up with content, but it is not easy for me. It probably should be easier than I'm making it, but we're gonna try today. Anyway, it is Friday morning. I just dropped the kiddos off at school. Fridays typically can be kind of a more chill day for me because I do teach, but I don't teach until after school lets out. So on Fridays, if I don't have anything else to do, then I potentially can sit down and do some reading. That is what today is. I don't have anything else really to do, except for I do need to practice a little bit of accompaniment. So I'm probably going to do that here in just a little bit. But I'm going to try and get through a few books. I have a couple of choices because I don't like feeling fenced in. One book I am currently reading is Outpost by Ann Aguirre. It's the second one in the Razorland trilogy. I found this one and the third one, which is called HORDE, in a secondhand bookstore a little while ago when I went to visit my friend Caitlin. I couldn't really find anything that I wanted to read. This was kind of like the best bet for me, and it didn't have the first book with it, so I ended up having to order it. And so I actually just finished this one a couple of days ago, ENCLAVE, which is the first one. These seem like they kind of came out of the YA dystopian heyday that came on the tail of Hunger Games. The story is interesting, and I really think that is what has kept me reading out of it. The writing is not the best. This is just basically your classic, the world has ended, there was a plague, there are some kind of zombie-like creatures, but they're not exactly like zombies. They call them freaks in the novel, and the protagonist's name is Deuce, and she is what's known as a hunter. So she helps provide food for her tribe, sort of, and she also helps protect the tribe from freak attacks. I continued with it almost entirely just because I had already bought the entire trilogy. Actually, the second one is turning out to be I think better than the first one. I also kind of like the turn the story took in the second one. I'm about halfway through it, but other than that, I've got about 3 books that I want to or need to get to. The first one is In the Forests of the Night, which is the second installment in the Goblin Wars trilogy by Kersten Hamilton. We're supposed to follow Tegan further and just kind of see what life is like now that she's discovered some things about her past and about her heritage that she didn't know. I am excited to jump back into this one. I'm kind of saving it as a reward for when I finish other books that I am less likely to want to read. So there's that one. I also have Love Wins by Rob Bell. If you've ever been like really big into evangelical Christianity, Rob Bell was like everybody's favorite for a while, and then he started publishing books like this. I know that I went to church and ran in college circles with a lot of people who called him things like heretic and universalist, and they warned everybody they could tell off reading these books, and that is probably the biggest reason why I want to read it now. I don't know, it bugs me when people tell me not to read stuff. It kind of makes me want to read it. And I just never had the opportunity before, so I ordered this one from Thrift Books. I might do that one. And then finally, we have Okay, I'm trying. I'm doing my best. I have finished the prologue, and I think I finished the first and part of the second chapter. Caitlin told me when she lent me this book, she said that it did take a while to get into, but once you get into it, that you really are excited to finish it. So I believe her. I'm just struggling. I mean, so much ash. There is so much ash falling from the sky. And he talks about it a lot. Sanderson talks about all this ash all the time. And I figure it must be necessary. I hope it's necessary. But another part of me is just like, why so much ash? Why so much? Part of me is afraid that maybe I'm not just a person who reads fantasy like this anymore. I used to be, I want to say. I think more when I was in high school. I read The Lord of the Rings. I read the first couple of books of the Wheel of Time series, and I really ate those up. But I'm starting to wonder if maybe I don't really read this type of fantasy anymore. Like, I'm not that person. And I don't know how I feel about that. But I am committed to finishing at least Mistborn before I make a decision, because, I mean, I have to know. I have to know if that part of my life is just over. So that is, 5 possible books that I might be looking at. Right now, I am going to go make myself a giant cup of coffee because I desperately need it. Then I need to practice a little bit of piano. So I'm going to do that for just a little bit, and then I think I'm going to settle in to read until lunchtime. Yeah. The cold recedes. The earth gets what it needs. I'll play my song. The winter's been so long. I will sing for you, even if I don't know the words. We got a little bit of reading done this morning. I finished about another chapter or so of Outpost, and right now I am headed to pick Tommy up for lunch. The ice gives way. The dark makes way for day. The grass grows through. That's all it knows to do. I will sing for you, even if I don't know the words. Okay. Hello. It is now Saturday night. I told you I was going to be bad at this. I have gotten some reading done. I did manage to finish Outpost earlier today. And I don't know what I think of this so far compared to the first book and really what the series as a whole is doing so far. And I think I'm going to think about it and talk about it more like in my wrap up, but basically I want to acknowledge that it is not groundbreaking or the best, but I still feel like I see value in it, both entertainment and otherwise. So I'm going to mull that over a little bit and then maybe come back and hit it in the wrap up, and hopefully I'll have like solidified my thoughts on that one further. So yeah, I finished Outpost, and I actually got a little bit farther in MISTBORN, which I did not expect. Not very much farther, but a little farther. And the world is starting to take shape, as well as the magic system. And it is unique and interesting. I'm just still not really sold on it as a whole. I'm still not very far. My goal by the end of this weekend is to get a third of the way through this book. There are moments when it really does pick up, and I feel like I could, spend some time in this book, but then it feels like it's followed immediately by a scene that I just don't care about. So I'm waiting though, because it is still the first third of the book, so it might pick up significantly, so that it won't be such a slog anymore. So I want to at least get a third of the way through the book this weekend. Besides that, I have cracked into Love Wins just a little bit. I'm not going to talk about that, just I've done that. And at this point, what I think I'm going to do, probably for the rest of the evening and maybe for the rest of the weekend, is kind of read a chapter of MISTBORN and then reward myself with a little bit of In the Forest of the Night. And hopefully that will be enough of a carrot to get me through some of this. We've spent a lot of the day kind of chilling and cleaning the house, just kind of getting it back to a state of normalcy after the week. And so we are about to cook dinner and watch a movie together as a family. So I'm going to go do that and then probably read some more after that. So I will check back in with you hopefully soon. Anyhow, see you in a little bit. Hello. It is now early Sunday evening. Listen, I don't know what to tell you. I think that I said earlier that my plan was to try and read some more in MISTBORN and maybe intersperse that with a little bit from In the Forest of the Night. And I ended up not doing that. I woke up this morning and I felt like reading Love Wins instead. And so I did that, and I finished that today. So I'm not going to talk too much about it. I'm going to save that for my wrap up. I did have thoughts, and they were positive thoughts. It gives me a lot to think about. So I'm going to mull that over and hopefully have something coherent to offer you at the end of February, here in about a week or so, a couple weeks. February is short. So I finished Outpost. It's called Outpost. I finished Outpost, and I got a couple of chapters deeper into MISTBORN, and I finished Love Wins this weekend. So pretty good reading weekend, I think. So as far as vlogging, what did we learn? What's the takeaway? How do I feel about vlogging now that I have attempted one? Honestly, that first day, I was pretty sure that I low-key hated the vlogging experience. And now that we're at the end of a weekend, that hasn't changed much. I don't think that it's a good medium for me, because after I finish books, I feel like I really need a little bit more time to let what I've read percolate. It feels like I finish a book and then I try to say something about it. I'm like, I don't know what I think. I'll have to get back to you later. So as far as that, I just don't think that it's the best medium for me personally. And then I also just really hate the vlogging experience of getting B-roll and videoing myself reading. I am not good at it. I'm just not. I don't enjoy doing that. And I'm also a pretty extreme introvert, which I don't think that's new. I feel like a lot of the people who are on BookTube are. But for me, it feels like I am letting people into my recharge space, my reading space, my reading time, my family time, all that. When I'm vlogging, it feels like I am inviting other outside people to be a part of that. And I also kind of low-key hate that. It's nobody's fault. It's my own. I needed to go through the whole thing to arrive at that conclusion, but I don't think it's for me. The most enjoyable parts of the whole experience was reading the books, but I liked reading them when I was off camera. And I also enjoyed creating the music for my vlog because I wanted to come up with some royalty-free music so that I wouldn't have to like search for something that wasn't going to get me sued. So my husband and I sat down last night and we created just a random folky like songs with some kind of generic words. It's not really anything that's groundbreaking or amazing, but I really enjoyed the process and making the part of the footage that came with that much better than the actual editing of my vlog. So the music that you heard on the vlog is from a song that we just threw together last night just for fun. I made its own little video that I'm also going to upload as a companion to this vlog. So I'll get a couple of videos up this week, which usually I never do. So yeah, be looking for that. I highly doubt that I will ever be vlogging again, but I really, hats off to those of you who do this every week or who even just do it on the regular, who excel at making vlogs and going through this whole process. I love watching your vlogs, but I have finally gone through and gotten enough data for myself to know that it is not going to be something I excel at or enjoy. That's all I got for you today. If my brand of awkward appeals to you, please feel free to like this video and to subscribe to my channel. And until next time, I don't know, maybe reflect with me on the fact that it's okay to let some things go when you know that you don't enjoy them and when you know that you don't want to get better at them. That feels good. That feels like a good use of our time. Anyway, bye.